To ponder this, I'm joined by Jeremy Munene, Research Associate for the Transforming Universities for Changing Climate Change Research Project here in the Kenyatta University, and also an environmental scientist, to be able to discuss on these matters of climate change and to try and link the two between climate change and the drought situation currently being witnessed in the country. Welcome so much, Jeremy.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for having me tonight and give me this opportunity to expound more on issues of climate change and the current situation that we are facing as a country, that is drought.
And Jeremy, last time we were actually able to interact, we were talking about the Green Education Day, where we were calling on youth to actually play a part in climate change. Tell me about the Green Education Hub so far. How are things coming along?
So far, so good. We have been able now to go out to work with other universities. We are able to hold our second Green Education Day at KEMU University, where we engage the students on matters of climate action and environmental protection. Now rolling out the activities of advocacy and issues of documenting local cases of climate change to our communities. And so by bringing other institutions of higher learning to these activities of the Green Education Day, we are able now to build momentum of creating a more enhanced and a collaborative effort from youth and also university students across Kenya. Yes,
that's very well taken, and also it's nice to know that you've been up and about trying to spread the message. Now, Jeremy, looking at the current drought situation in the country, is this an I told you so moment that we're having a drought, and at a moment where we have been actually talking about climate change mitigation, and for a moment it's like, I told you so? You as a campaigner, are you on that verge of telling us, I told you so?
Yeah, that's true. Science has always been right. We have been always saying that the issues of climate change are increasing, and that is the challenges. They are becoming more intensive, but people were not listening to us. So this is now the chance that the global community has begun to realize that it was true, that scientists did not lie, and the data from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that is the IPCC, was correct, that we will start now to experience more extreme weather condition and erratic climatic condition.
Now, Jeremy, yes, let me break you a bit. We've had a drought since biblical times.
Yeah.
What is different concerning the situation now and previous situations?
Okay, to answer your question, it's true we have drought, and there are various types of drought. One is meteorological drought. This is characterized by reduced rainfall events. And two, we have hydrological drought. This is characterized by reduced water in our rivers, in our lakes. So the occurrence of climate challenges at our time that is brought forth by global warming is now making areas across the country and the region to experience reduced rainfall, and also to ensure that we face a high rate of evapotranspiration, which is leading to loss of water in our soils or decreased water volume in our lakes or in our rivers. So climate change is only aggravating the drought that we have been facing before. That is meteorological drought and hydrological drought.
And Jeremy, in your view, how can we be able to develop maybe a way that we can have an effective public awareness and engagement strategy?
Okay, as a scientist that is involved in climate action, what the best role or the best move towards climate action is education. So education, we are able to go to the community, raise awareness, so that before we implement an initiative, people will now realize that I'm doing this initiative to come back to what or to do what. So advocacy, awareness, just like the Green Education Hub is doing, talking to the student. And when we inform the student, the information that they get on climate change is likely to cascade down to the community. So you have to conduct a lot of civic education and awareness on climate change now. Mm-hmm. And that now creates the people to have environmental attitudes that they are motivated to take care of the environment and engage more in climate action.
Now, Jeremy, you're a leader by yourself, and today we are actually having various CSs swearing in to take office. Now, let me put you in a hypothetical situation. Supposing you are the CS, let's say, for environment, and also in a bit also combined with agriculture. Now, how would you address matters currently as they are affecting the country? In your own perception, how would you work towards ensuring like you try and reduce the whole climate situation in a way that actually works to alleviate the drought situation?
Emmanuel, that's a very good question and a tough one, but there are short-term and long-term solutions that you can implement to reduce the effect. And I'll start by stating that we need climate financing. And we have seen the government and the president calling for people to talk about climate financing at the COP27. What is climate financing? This is whereby countries in the global south, we are telling the developed nation or institutions that are well equipped with financial resources and other resources to help us as the global south, because our contribution to climate change is quite negligible. We don't emit a lot of carbon or methane. And so when they fund us, we can be able to implement projects that can help communities to cope with these extremes of weather climate change. And the other thing is the issue of afforestation and the reforestation of graded lands. People may view it as a very simple task or something that, it's tree planting. People are always engaged in tree planting. But you have seen actually government, and we have also seen the current government trying to tell communities that you have to go out there and increase our national tree cover. And the benefit of this is that it's to create a microclimate and reduce our carbon concentration in the atmosphere. So the other thing is that you have to go to the communities and talk to them to embrace these drought-resistant crops. We have crops, the indigenous one. We have millet, we have sorghum, we have cassava. These are crops that can cope with these dry conditions that are facing most of the part of the country, you see? So these are some of the steps. If God willing, I will find myself there, I will go out and advocate for them.
It's good that you have actually aware about it, and also the matters that you've actually opened up to have brought several things to my mind. And now concerning the whole planting tree situation, it's something that we actually, if you're looking at it as it is right now, it's like we are cutting more to urbanized areas. If you were to look at most urban areas, even in Nairobi, finding a tree is something that is not really, you would be lucky to actually find a tree. We're actually losing a lot even on the water table. I'm going to ask you this. Is this the only possible route, rather planting trees, that would be able to make a change for us? And is it that our disregard for the importance of ensuring these trees are planted, they grow to maturity, that has brought us to the situation we are in right now?
I don't think that even afforestation, we should also be looking too much on afforestation. We can try to create an equilibrium between the development and the environmental conservation and the social dimension of our society, in this sense that if we want to urbanize, there are green ways to do it. This is by trying to ensure that as we construct our infrastructures, we have less ecological footprint. In this sense, that you cut down vegetation that only need to be cleared for you to set up a building or an infrastructure. And this we are doing quite well because we have the environmental impact assessment that we write and you submit to NEMA for them to review. So when you try to bring development issues that are sustainable that focus on sustainable development goals and trying to balance between development and protection, then there is even no need of advocating too much on afforestation. It's for us to change our lifestyles and embrace this green development, as I may put it. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, this is a queer question, but on the flip side, does the drought situation in a way work for climate change? Because many lands are not used, the degraded lands, when the whole drought situation is happening. Does it, on the flip side, like even work for climate change that we're actually experiencing a drought?
I don't think so, because most of the climate change challenges we are facing, like global warming, which is now causing the challenges of drought, is mainly due to human-induced activities. These include industrialization, deforestation, you see. So the land as it is, even an arid and semi-arid area is an ecosystem on its own. You see, it has its own way of supporting live animals adapted and thrive in such areas. So areas that are barren or do not have vegetation cover, we can't say they are contributing. But what we are trying to say is that we can transform these areas by now trying to increase our national tree cover, you see. So it's about some of the negative human activities that we do that is harming our environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Jeremy, I believe you may be a young man, yes, but over the years, even as you grew up as a small boy coming up to where you are right now, you've always had, on a moment, like a seasonal moment of there is drought, there is famine, there is drought, there is famine over the ages. And looking at this situation, it's like it's a repetitive thing. It's something that is coming continuously, something that is expected. Now, looking at the fact that now as a youth, you are a campaigner for climate change. Now, how can we ensure as the youth that we do not now find ourselves in a situation that is on this very same course? How can we make differences happen right now to ensure, like, even in future generations, they can be able to find a moment to actually be proud that the ones who preceded them actually did something to try and make sure they do not experience what they experienced? Because it's not a novel matter to see the impacts of drought in Turkana, in Garissa, in the northern counties. It's something that is worrying, and even right now it's growing even into the suburbs, because even in Nairobi people are starving.
So to respond to that, Emmanuel, I would say that we as the youth, individually, we have things that we can do, and also collectively. Individually, in this sense, we can try to embrace some of the sustainable lifestyle practices. In this sense, we shift to try to circular economy. This means that we reduce our waste generation. You can do it as yourself, become a model either to your community or among your peers by either collecting waste within your locality and trying to show people that you actually waste is something valuable or a product to create something. I've seen a lot of student club here in Kenyatta University going around collecting plastic bottles and trying to make decoration out of it. Then as a youth in general, now they can try and form groups and this group may either be community-based organization or any other group that can go to the community and try to inform them that climate change is real, and we need now to either embrace organic farming. You see, organic farming, by the way, it's very helpful in reducing the emission of methane, which is now causing global warming. So when you talk to the community and shed more light on some of the activities that we can embrace, then it's a step towards the involvement of youth in climate action.
And Jeremy, let me ask you this. Is it that we are numb, or did we require to be shocked by the fact of the drought coming so much into the country for us to actually respond? Because even the late Wangari Maathai was out there trying to campaign, trying to tell people, do the hummingbird move, do something. And still to this moment, we are experiencing conditions that somehow we are still the ones who made them. Is it that we are numb to the situation?
I don't really think so. As I began, I told you that we have been warned, or as the scientists, we have always warned the communities, the government, that these challenges will become more severe. And now, before people used to say that scientists, they are just making some false information about what will happen in the future. But you can see now there is a lot of changes in our locality. There have been a lot of heat waves now. The drought now is becoming more severe. Actually, there are parts here in Kenya that have gone over four, that have experienced 4 field rainy seasons, others 3. Now you can see these are some of the things that now the community is coming to realize that the data that the scientists gave us is real. Yes.
So I guess the message has been received this time around.
Yeah, it has been received, and we hope that now people will come together and we collaborate in making this world a livable place. As we always say, we have only one planet, and we must now ensure that we embrace sustainable development.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And as we finalize, Jeremy, I'm going to ask you something concerning trend, something that is actually coming up right now. The recent lifting of the ban on GMOs. Well, it has been termed that genetically modified crops can help reduce agricultural greenhouse gas emissions. What are your thoughts on this as a climate change campaign?
A tough question again, Emmanuel, but I think you see, the increase of vegetation cover is a blessing for us generally as a planet, because once you cover these regions with a lot of vegetation, you are now able to address issues of global warming. You are able to create that microclimate where it helps in rain formation, and areas can now receive rains that can help to support food system, that can help us to have clean and supply of clean water. So in my view, it's a good move that we are now trying to increase our forest cover either by natural or either by GMO. It's something that we cannot shun away from. Yes.
I ask you that question as a scientist because I'm sure scientists don't lie. They have the facts on their fingertips.
True. So it's a good move, but we can't complain because we have always advocated for increase of the vegetation cover, and the effect of barren land. Yeah, it exposes our land to this extreme condition of drought. The water is the rate of evaporation is making water stored in these soils to dry quickly, and now contribute to extreme drought condition, and also try to accelerate desertification that is also encroaching areas that were regarded as islands or areas with high rainfall event. Yes.
Thank you very much, Jeremy Muro, for your time. And as you finalize this discussion tonight, apart from being an environmental scientist, my friend, you're a campaigner for climate change. So maybe you can have a final moment to make your campaign more audible.
My plea is for the youths now to go out there and participate in raising climate awareness in our communities. We have had the opportunity now for the higher education to be involved in this course, and like the Green Education Days, the Green Education Hub here at Kenyatta University is encouraging youth to go and create the teaching and learning materials by documenting local cases in their community, so that we can have resources that document what's happening in our community, so that institution of higher learning or any other learning institution in Kenya can have resources that touch on what's happening really here in Kenya, so that we don't rely on materials from other parts of the country. So go out, raise awareness on climate change, develop teaching and learning materials, and also get involved in online campaigns, because now most of the campaigns on climate action are taking place on either on Twitter, and on other social media platforms. So go out there, raise awareness, and I think now that the people are listening to us, this is a great opportunity to bring everyone on board to address matters of climate change and environmental sustainability.
Okay, thank you very much, Jeremy Munene, an environmental scientist, a young man who's passionate about matters of climate change and ensuring there is a difference in this country, in the world. I hope actually to be able to see you